You dream of flowing, elegant, narrow-rolled hems like this, but they somehow always end up looking like this, or even worse, ugh, like this. Well, we'll take you from this to this. Here's 5 tips for more luxurious rolled hems. You can do this. Let's start with the most common setup I see. A heavy poly blend bridal satin, size 14 needle, and a nice brand and weight of thread like Gutermann Mara 100. The roll, unfortunately, is large and puffy. Tip number 1 for a hem that flows like water, let's choose a lighter, finer fabric. For my demo piece, I used a fine silk charmeuse. For this sewing demo, we'll use a light poly blend. So this works for silks or synthetics. Let's look at the difference. We will stack these tips one at a time so we can compare and see the improvement as we add them to our techniques. You can see the roll is already finer with the lighter weight fabric. When we look at this critically though, there is still a lot of room for improvement, and the stitch line is not very straight. Tip number 2 is to use a finer thread. Let's switch from Mara 100 for this Gutermann American and Ephred Scala 200. I would never use this for a pressure-bearing seam, but it works great for hems and hand stitching. Don't forget to change the bobbin thread out too. Do you have trouble remembering how to thread the bobbin? For my Juki, it goes like this. Bobbin, bobbin, number 9, pull it down and out the side. The thread wraps in the shape of the number 9. Does yours wrap like the number 9 or like the letter P? And do you use a Juki? Tell us in the comments what your favorite machine is. Wow, look at the difference. Each tip really does make it better. Let's keep going. For tip number 3, we will change the size of the needle. We will go from a size 14 to a size 9. Look at the size difference. It's pretty significant, and it actually makes a huge difference in the finished size of the roll. For tip number 4, we're going to practice putting tension on the fabric in the most effective ways. It really makes a huge difference. I'm also going to roll the fabric more slowly in case you're interested in learning to roll the hem without that pesky rolled hem foot attachment. I hate that thing. Anyways, I have a whole playlist on learning to sew this way. I'll put it in the description in case you're interested. For a super narrow roll, you want to pull 2 different ways. One way is what I'm doing with my left hand. See how I'm pulling the fabric to the left? And the other way, see me tapping with my right index finger. I'm going to pull the fabric back and give it just a little bit of resistance. That's going to keep it from bouncing around, and the stress that I'm putting on it from the left is preventing the fabric from rolling extra fabric in. It makes a huge difference, and if I had to pick one of these 5 tips, this is the one that I would use to benefit my narrow rolled hem the most. And oh my goodness, look at them. They're just like me. They're getting skinnier by the minute. That was a joke. Okay, but what is not a joke is how much better this rolled hem is getting with every tip. Also, look there on the far right, I'm laying these out in order. Look at how much straighter the stitch is even getting, and we're not even focusing on that. That pressure that we put on the fabric makes an incredible difference. Tip number 5 helps us with the obstacles of seam allowances and helps us get rid of the bulge. I hereby bequeath you the authority to snip the seam allowances. Yes, cut them off to the point that they won't be doubled over. I also like to heat seal mine, as you saw. So we're going to go ahead and roll right here, just as if the seam allowance wasn't there. And if you snipped it off in the right place, the seam allowance above the new roll is actually going to be caught in the rolled hem, but it won't be doubled over. So it looks very, very neat. Look at the difference. Now let's line them all up. Now we have them all dutied up. They are pressed and in their Sunday best. And look at the difference. Each tip genuinely made the roll better, smaller, more professional looking. If you'd like a deeper dive on rolled hems, watch this next. If you would like more instruction like this on the regular, hit subscribe and ding the bell so you'll see my uploads. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for watching.